So, you said before the interview that you're part of the LGBT community.
Yeah.
Have you found any discrimination while out on the campaign? Or if not, have you got any advice for those who have found that they've been discriminated because of the way that they identify?
Yeah, I mean, I've had in the past, professionally, nothing, I think as I'm quite direct, and I'm not offended, but I'm not scared and I'm not afraid to tackle if someone says they'll get it front on for me. And at some I've had to, in 2010 I had at the election count when I was standing, a comment from a BNP, obviously when that party was around. And that was awful. It just took me off guard. And, I've had comments in time, I can deal with it. Some have had to report people to the police, some have been arrested. That guy was arrested and charged and had to go to court, and obviously it's one word against another, but there was reasonable thing, but he was done. But you've got to believe, you've got to stand up. But, in the Conservative Party, no one, in all the years I've never encountered an issue amongst members. And, we have a very diverse range. Obviously, I always think that the other parties are much more open. Well, actually, they were the worst. That I've, when you meet at different events, it's not just Conservative only. There's functions and places you go to, but it's almost like how dare I be Conservative and how dare I be gay and how dare I do this? Thinking actually, we're far more open, far more friendly, and actually listening. And for those people, it's an awful thing, but some people obviously take it personally. It's still not nice to get a comment made, but I've kind of learned to deal with those issues, but you've got to have a strength in yourself. And if it means talking to whether someone from one of those LGBT groups or for advice, but you've got to somehow you can't stop someone making a comment, but it's how the only thing you can do is you've got to somehow change the reaction to take so actually it doesn't offend. These people are sad, pathetic individuals, and they're scared. The most part of the ones that do anti-gay are actually gay themselves, but they're just scared that someone else, they've got to be even more pretend over the top against you to kind of counteract. They've got issues, and you feel, well, I look at the greater majority. So for them, you've got, if you're going into public life in some form, you're going to get issues. You can see nationally, you see awful things said about politicians of all parties. It's not just Tory, Labour. There's elements of just nasty people are nasty people, but you've got to be strong in yourself and try and think, look at the greater picture. 99% of the people plus don't say that. I've dealt things in the past. It was never nice, and I had to hide that I was upset and it offended, because it's still the same as someone from the black community or disabled or elderly people. Like I said to you before, the phobia is not with homophobia and racism, misogynistic against women. There's all these other campaigns have come out even the last few years, even more so with a kind of more vengeance, that people really don't want things to stand up for, and you've got to somehow you've got to work it out yourself, but don't lose focus because of one person. Look at everyone, your friends, your family love you, people around you, you've been selected because people believe that you are the right candidate, regardless of sexuality or the age or creed or religion. I just don't care about that. For me, it's the responsibility. Are you respectful? Are you a decent person with morals and integrity? And you want to do the right thing, not for financial gain. You're doing it because you want to give back for your community. And this, for me, is like an inherent. I've always wanted to do that. It's not out of any, if I do this, it's going to get me something in my career. I do it because it's the right thing to do, and I'm happy to take the charge like I've done in my local community and where I live as well, where my parents, there's things you can do. No one cares.